think the biggest thing is that access to credit has really been restricted, not
Yeah.
necessarily by the lenders
Yeah.
saying, but by just the fact that people can no longer qualify.
Hmm.
And is there any kind of thought of when that may change? I mean, it's tough. I I think it's credit card debt, groceries cost more, everything costs more. That I don't know if there's a light at the end of the tunnel for this, but I also don't see a influx of non-performing where things are good defaulted quickly. And the weird thing is there's tons of equity out there that I would think that these people will be able to sell their property, but then they can't qualify for a new home.
So,
And then they're going
yeah,
from a 3% rate or a 2% rate all of a sudden up to
right,
a 6.5, 7.
right.
That's a lot of money every month.
A lot of money. It's a lot of money, but I honestly, I've talked about this before. I
Yeah.
think our picture of equity is problematic. I don't think that because of, people not reporting things to credit, private credit got in mortgage in a big way, and they're not reporting everything to credit.
Mm.
And as we know, those payment deferrals are not recorded on public record. And so CoreLogic, Cotality is not factoring those into their equity analysis. So and what I'm actually
Just real
saying,
quick,
if
so
I
for
don't
those who may
go
not
ahead.
missed our last call, what is the payment deferrals and what does that mean?
So as the workout to the forbearances, you could take those 18 months of payments and put them on the back of your loan. It's non-interest bearing, and it's paid off when you sell the home or ultimately pay off the loan, like through a refinance. And the agencies made the decision not to record those. And so nobody knows they exist unless, like, the way you guys are going to know is when you get that payoff quote, it should have it on there. But if these things aren't recorded on public record, CoreLogic's not picking them up in their equity analysis, which is what everybody uses. And
Mhm.
then the Fed uses Experian for their household debt and credit paper. And I'm starting to notice that Experian just has a lot less, like if you look at credit reports, you'll see that there's a lot less items on an Experian credit report, like
Mhm.
negative items, and say maybe Equifax and the other. And so this is the thing, you don't have to report to all of them. In
Yep.
fact, you don't have to report. And so I
Yeah.
think that's what's happening because the Fed showed 30 plus coming down a little bit last quarter. NBA didn't show that. Like even in Black Knight's number. So it's like that's just weird.
Yeah.
So but
So
anyway, so the
you
picture's
think
just
the
not
debt of the
clear.
household is higher than it's being reported, so that
100%.
the value,
Mhm.
like the old was that the Schuler test where it's that household income versus value of the property is not where we
That's
were in
shrinking.
07, oh 07, oh 08, but we're getting to
Yeah.
the point where it's unaffordable, and it's displaying that.
Mm.
Yeah. And you can go, so you can fact check me and go look at Fannie Mae DTI levels right now, debt to income levels. We are right at 2008 levels, around that 38% in
Wow.
the Fannie, in the prime book, in the prime book. We
Wow.
should never be at 38% in the prime book. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just, that's not sound lending. And so,
Interesting.
yeah, so I think again, there's just a ton of narrative. And so it makes it very confusing. And I think, Nate, as you say, when we're in those big transition periods, you are going to hear a lot of conflicting information.
Yeah. Yeah.
But where I would tell everybody to keep looking is at inventory. So what we've got going on right now in the existing home market is a lot of rage delisting. There were several stories this week about that where boomers didn't get the price they want, so they just delisted. But that inventory is still there. And come spring, it will
Hmm.
not be alone. And I think they think that it will be alone because so many people talk about the inventory shortage. And so I think a lot of people are going to be in for quite a surprise in the spring because they've just been convinced until we got an article in Bloomberg and an article in Wall Street Journal this week that, there was an inventory shortage. They would be able to get that price for their home. But both of those articles in the same week said, you need to consider lowering your price if you want to sell your home. And so that
Hmm.
message went out loud and clear
Wow.
in
Hmm.
anticipation of the spring selling season. And before that, 2 weeks ago, we got the message about the builders that they're in trouble. A couple of articles there. So I think the narrative has changed and we're in that transition moment. And you're going to actually start to see FHA is going to start to flow through the system, but they may not get higher in delinquency. I hope that kind of makes sense. Like whatever has been building up in the dam is going to flow through to foreclosure. And now we've entered the part of the cycle where Fannie and Freddie start to degrade, where your prime book starts to degrade, because your peak distress has really already hit that subprime borrower. And if you go back and look in history, you'll see that FHA definitely peaked almost a year before Fannie and Freddie.
Wow.
I think it was really a year and a half.
Are
Are
you seeing any changes with those people who have equity, like they did in 05, 06, taking second liens out and taking a hold of it? Or are you seeing people being smarter than they were in 05 and holding off on that? Are you seeing kind of numbers?
Yeah, I think people are taking it if they can qualify for it. I mean, I don't think anybody's being smarter in this cycle. I mean, I'm sure that there's probably people out there. I don't ever hear. I mean, some of the things I've seen in servicing already are absolutely bananas. Like 15 liens on one property. And the servicer realizing that their investor's not in first position. And I mean, I'm seeing some nutty stuff where people like turned around, got a fake 2.2 million loan, right? On a fake, like they sold it to each other, so that the person could turn around and refi it and then go buy another property. So these are like little rings. There's a case I'm helping with down in Phoenix. I mean, no, hardly anybody got smarter. Probably just the people that got really burned in the GFC got smarter.
So I'm curious, like, there's been a couple of quote unquote solutions that have been kind of floating out there. So I don't even think it's worth talking about the 50-year mortgage.